Jake, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Corinne, and hi, everybody. He travels to South America. His first stop will be Peru for the APEC Summit, the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. And then he'll go on to Brazil for the first ever presidential trip to the Amazon, and then to the G20 Summit in Rio de Janeiro. At APEC, the president will reinforce America's leading role in the Indo-Pacific. And over the last 4 years, he has markedly enhanced our strategic position in this vital region, from our treaty alliances to AUKUS to the Quad to the historic trilateral with Japan and Korea. And with respect to that trilateral, he will meet with President Yoon of South Korea and Prime Minister Ishiba of Japan to celebrate the historic cooperation between our three nations and discuss the importance of institutionalizing the progress we've made so that it carries forward through the transition. As you all know, the G20 is a unique forum. It includes both our closest allies and partners. While in Lima, President Biden will also meet with President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China. This will be the third in-person meeting between the two leaders since President Biden came into office, and their final meeting as presidents.
What is the most urgent national security threat facing the United States today as Donald Trump prepares to take office?
I would say two things in answer to that question. The first is that if you look out at a strategic level, the competition with the People's Republic of China is going to be defining for what the world looks like over the course of the next 10, 20, and 30 years. And so that has got to be a paramount priority for the incoming administration. And the person who's been named as my successor, the person who's been floated as the Secretary of State, these are people who have very much focused on that challenge, and we'll look forward to talking to them about how we've approached it and obviously pass on the current state of play. Then there's the most immediate issue, which is Iran and its proxy groups continue to take actions that directly threaten Americans and American interests in the Middle East, and that has to be dealt with on an urgent basis. What's called a UCG, a Unified Coordinating Group, in order to coordinate the entire U.S. government level. In between those two, you have an ongoing war of aggression by Russia against Ukraine, representing a larger threat to European security and therefore global security, and you've got North Korea coming behind to provide troops in that war. So these are all issues for which we have clear approaches, working in coordination with allies and partners, and we are going to try to ensure that we pass off each of these areas to the next team in a way that is as smooth as possible.
Last time, and what will his message be to President Xi?
I've already mildly violated the not reading. But with respect to his meeting with President Xi, I don't expect him to pass messages. Obviously, President Trump, when he comes into office, will have his opportunity to engage directly with President Xi. But I will observe that transitions are uniquely consequential moments in geopolitics. They're a time when competitors and adversaries can see possibly opportunity because you have this change in government here. And so part of what President Biden will communicate is that we need to maintain stability, clarity, predictability through this transition between the United States and China. And he will also really reinforce the point that in order for us to manage this competition responsibly going forward, we have to sustain over the long term the channels of communication at every level, particularly the military to military level.
Congrats on becoming a congressional spouse.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download MetroTV Extend sekarang.